Hey there, homosexuality had its first recorded history in as early as 9000 BCE. If you're a homosexual, you're only one of about 9.5 million in North America alone.
At the start in the 1900s, however, homosexuals were much more segregated due to ignorance and religion.
As the century progressed, many movements and establishments took place in effort to desegregate homosexuality. Although homosexuality remains a controversial subject to date, owing these movements and events, our society has certainly progressed to become more accepting.
Let's start by looking at the case of Everett George Clipper. Clipper was the last person to be arrested, charged, convicted, and imprisoned for homosexuality in Canada. He was assessed to be incurably homosexual by a psychiatrist before being sentenced to an indefinite preventive detention. Many Canadians considered the case of Clipper to be incredibly homophobic. This incident caught attention on all levels of society, insofar as prompting sympathetic articles from Maclean's and the Toronto Star. To many, this case was also the reason behind the legal reform that legalized homosexuality in Canada in 1969.
Speaking of progress, a major force behind the desegregation of homosexuality in Canada was Pierre Trudeau. Trudeau was the Prime Minister of Canada from 1968 to 1979 before finally stepping down after another reign from 1980 to 1984. During his time of power, he was well known for saying, "There is no place for the state in the bedrooms of the nation." This controversial statement was followed by an omnibus bill which redefined the Criminal Code of Canada. Not only did the bill decriminalize homosexual acts done privately, it also included other controversial topics such as redefining abortion laws and loiteries. What's done in private between adults doesn't concern the criminal code. Trudeau's amendments toward the Criminal Code of Canada would be a major milestone in the desegregation of homosexuality during the 1960s.
Perhaps the most significant event for major change was the incident at Stonewall in New York. On June 28, 1970, New York police officers violently raided a gay bar named Stonewall Inn. At the time, it was legal for the police to persecute and even arrest some people found in known gay bars. When one police officer allegedly beat a woman over the head with a nightstick because she complained that her handcuffs were too tight, the crowd of LGBTs that witnessed the police's brutality stood up by retaliating physically and attempted to burn down the bar along with the police inside.
Finally, the first Gay Liberation Day March was held in New York City in 1970.
As an effort to further include homosexuals in the mainstream society, Oscar Wilde Bookshop was opened by Craig Rowell in 1967. It was a bookshop devoted only to gay and lesbian writers, and named after gay author and poet Oscar Wilde. Despite a limited selection, Craig Rowell refused to stock pornography, insisting only on literature by gay and lesbian authors. The bookshop also held events such as the first Pride Parade in New York City.
The unprecedented vengeance created a domino effect that created successful and drastic movements, such as the formation of the Gay Liberation Front and the first Gay Pride March in U.S. history, which occurred in 1969. Even today, LGBT movements are happening swiftly. In 2008, same-sex marriage was legalized in California, and even Pope Francis said, "Who am I to judge a gay person of goodwill who seeks the Lord?" A statement reaching out to millions of Christians implying acceptance and tolerance of LGBTs.